Hey guys, I am always so excited for like the first of the month of every month just to make this video on my channel. It's genuinely like my favorite video to film just because we are always constantly getting new books to talk about, new recommendations, new, hey, I don't really like this stuff. So I'm super excited, and today is also super exciting because we have a sponsor for this video. I want to go ahead and say thank you so much, Book of the Month, for sponsoring this video. So let's talk about Book of the Month. Thank you so much, Book of the Month, for sponsoring this portion of today's video. I am super excited to be talking about and partnering with them for today's video. If you guys are a little bit of a long time watcher of my channel, since I've been making book videos, I've talked about how much I love Book of the Month, how I have been thinking about getting a subscription with them, and just about how awesome they are. So I'm so excited to be talking to you guys about them today. So maybe some of you are like, Destiny, what is Book of the Month? Well, I'm happy to tell you. Book of the Month is a super popular and fast-growing online book service for readers. Their mission is to help promote new and emerging authors and help readers find the books that they love. Their team vets hundreds of books each month and gives readers their choice of a curated selection of new and early release titles. So you can spend more time reading and less time researching, which honestly, as a reader, that's the best thing ever, because a huge portion, I feel like, of time is spent looking for books rather than actually reading them. So it's nice to just have something that can show up on your doorstep with the book, and it's in this iconic blue box. It's so cute that we'll get into in a second. One of the best parts about Book of the Month is that Book of the Month is completely risk-free. You can skip any month at any time with no charge. You will not be charged for skipping that month. Plus, they have the best prices for new release hardcover fiction. You guys can get your first book for just $9.99 with the code BEMINE, which honestly is such a good deal. So my personal pick for this month for Book of the Month was The Golden Couple. And first of all, just like I said, this blue box is just iconic. I love even the little details. You've got great taste. You take the book out, and they even give you this little bookmark. Like this one that I got, it says BRB, ignoring my responsibilities. How freaking cute is that? Like just putting this in my Book of the Month book. But my pick, The Golden Couple. This book sounds super interesting. It is about a married couple, and the wife in the marriage has an affair, but she wants to basically keep her marriage together because of their son, and she loves her husband. So they turn to this therapist who has lost her license, and things kind of get a little jumbly and thrilly and turny around there, which that is something that is right on up my alley. I love books like these so much, so I'm so excited to read this. Some of the other really exciting picks that we have for this month: A River Enchanted. Now this book is basically about a man who gets sent to the mainland, and he has to come back to where he grew up in because girls are going missing, and this woman is recruiting him to basically help her find out what's going on. Kind of takes place on water, seems like kind of this really adventurous story, so this sounds super interesting. And then we have Peach Blossom Spring. This is a heart-wrenching story all about war and migration. This book follows 3 generations of a Chinese family on their search for a place to call home. And this book is super interesting to me because I feel like I don't really reach for books like this, but one of my New Year's goals for reading was to read books that are out of my comfort zone, so I'm excited to pick this one up. This is a book that is super important to read. And then we have Don't Cry For Me. This is an emotional story all about a Black father who is trying to make amends with his son on his deathbed. He's trying to write letters. It's a story all about empathy and forgiveness. And then lastly, we have Vladimir. This is following a married couple. Our narrator is an English professor, and her husband is under investigation for having an inappropriate relationship with one of his students, and you're kind of following that story. And then Vladimir comes on campus, and he is a young novelist that has piqued our narrator's interest, so you're following this story. I don't know about you guys, but I love a good dramatic story, so this seems pretty interesting to me. If you're interested in subscription and interested in any of these selections, you guys should head over to bookofthemonth.com and use the code BEMINE for your first book for $9.99. Thank you again so much to Book of the Month for sponsoring today's video. And now back to what I read in January. Okay, now back to regular scheduled programming. So what I read in January. Today. This month was a pretty good reading month for me. I overall read 14 books, which is not too shabby. Even if you read one book this month, that is so great, because reading is reading. It doesn't matter how fast-paced or slow-paced you are. Just if you're enjoying it, then that's the only thing that matters. So I just always want to tell you guys that, because I don't want anyone to get discouraged about how much or how little they read. So let's get into it. This month was a little bit of a complicated reading month for me because I had a lot of good reads, and then I had some disappointing ones, or just plain old bad reads. I wouldn't even call them just disappointing. They were just not my faves. However, we did start off the month with a bang because I started the Twisted series. So the first book that I read was Twisted Love. Obviously, this is the first book in the Twisted series. Twisted Hate just came out, and I keep on forgetting. I need to put my Amazon order in because I need to get the special edition copy to go with this whole entire series. I'm super excited for that book as well. This is basically, you are following Alex and Ava. Ava is Alex's best friend's sister. So it's brother's best friend, basically. And her brother has to go study abroad for like a year, and he asks Alex to watch over her because she's just been going through some things, and he agrees reluctantly because Alex, this is a very much grumpy sunshine because Alex is not nice to like anyone. There's some plot twists, there's some heartache moments, and really what else can you ask for in a book? I rated this a 4 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The reason it just wasn't 5-star for me is that, okay, I mean, let's just all be honest. Do we all love a little bit of an overprotectiveness? Yeah. But his was just a little bit too much. Like, there's just a few scenarios in this book that I was like, this is borderline a little crazy, but okay. But okay, it's just fiction, so I'm gonna stepstone over it. But I did feel like they just had this connection, like both of them just had this thing that they couldn't tear away from the other, which I love. But he like does, like there's just something that happens in this book that you're like, why? And then the effort that he puts in, like the absolute effort is astonishing. The determination of Alex Volkov is just insane to me. And then of course I had to pick up Twisted Games, which I actually did read these originally on my Kindle, and then I went to Barnes & Noble in one of my book shopping vlogs. So if you haven't watched that, go watch it because I like that video. But I picked up the physical copies because I just need the physical copies. You guys know how it is if you guys read books and you don't have a physical copy of them and you're like, I need them in my life. I understand. So here I am buying this one, but this one is a bodyguard romance. It's about Bridget and Rise. Bridget is a literal princess. Like, not just accent, no, she's a literal princess and has to be the queen. She has to be the, I think it's the queen. Yeah, I think she has to be the queen of like wherever they're from, I forget. But basically, so it's like a forbidden romance, bodyguard romance. It's kind of grumpy sunshine. Like, he's very grumpy, and I don't know if I'd call her sunshine. I don't know. But she's so smart. Like, she's such a powerful main character, and I love that. And it was just a good story. The only thing is that this one is quite a bit thicker because it's also slow burn. So it really has everything that you would want. Like, come on, this has like everything you'd want. But I just got bored at some points. Like, I just felt like it got dragged on a little bit, where I felt like it's not dragged this on, but then I felt like the end just like, but then again, it wasn't, because it was super slow burn. This was a 3.5 stars for me, just because it got a little boring at some points. I wasn't all in like I was with Twisted Love, and just, again, I don't know. It was just kind of to me, but it not really I liked it. I don't know what. Sometimes I can't find the correct words for thoughts that I'm feeling. This is where I started reading books for my Reading Stead Boars 5-star rated video. Again, if you haven't watched that video, go watch it because I put in a lot of effort for that video. So this is when my Kindle, I started reading on my Kindle, which I love my Kindle. A lot of you guys have been asking me for updates on my Kindle. I love it. I read the Full Tilt Duet, so Full Tilt and All In. This basically overall got like a 3 stars for me for both of the books. I'm just gonna put both of the books in together for a 3-star respectively. Full Tilt got a 2.5 and All In got a 3.5, but I'm just gonna rate them as a 3 together. Just know that it's kind of like bad girl, good boy, and she's like a rock star. He's like a limo driver and an artist. It is a super emotional story, so I did like it for that, but I just didn't like our main character. Like, I just didn't like her. Everyone else in the book loves her, and I'm like, why do I not vibe with her? It just wasn't my cup of tea, which I know disappointed quite a few people because so many people, they saw on my Goodreads, I was reading it, and they're like, I love this book, it's one of my favorites. And then I just took your heart and I just put it in the palm of my hand and crushed it because I didn't like it. But let me tell you guys this, never apologize for not liking something that someone else does, because you having your own opinion is amazing, and never apologize for having your own opinion. We can all have differences of opinions and still respect and love each other, okay? And then I read 1,000 Boy Kisses. At the time, I think I rated this a 4 stars, just because the storyline gets to me, like it just does. Childhood friends to lovers, an emotional story, like sign me up, I'm gonna cry. It's a YA book, and I'm fine with YA books, honestly. I have quite a lot of YA books on this TBR cart right here. I just bought more books today too, so. It was just way too immature for me. Like the writing was very immature, so that was something that was hard to get over, and the story was just overall immature, so it didn't get me there. But it was a hard aching story, so I did give this about a 3.5 stars, give or take. And then I read Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. Am I ready to go in on this book? Yeah, I am. That's just the truth. I gave this book a 1 star. I did read another Penelope Douglas book this month, so I will keep my opinions quiet on that for a second, but I did not like this book at all. I didn't like it. I didn't like the concept of this book. I'm not gonna say I'm against an age gap romance, but this age gap was like 20 something years, and that to me, just not my cup of tea personally. If that's your thing, cool. Don't care, do what you want, that's awesome for you. I'm not gonna judge you because like that's your business, you know what I'm saying? But that's just, for me, I was a little uncomfortable, but it was the circumstances. It's literally her boyfriend's dad. I don't know if this is a spoiler, so maybe skip if you haven't read this book, because I'm gonna say something, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but when I went into the book and people were like, oh yeah, it's her ex-boyfriend's dad, and like her and her boyfriend break up because he's a crappy boyfriend, which I agree with, like yeah, break up with him, but leave both of them because you didn't really upgrade. But anyway, before I say that, I thought that like they would break up at the beginning, and they didn't. They did not break up at the beginning. So you're kind of getting dialogue from Pike, who's the main character, who it's her boyfriend's dad, and he's like looking at her, making these comments about her, and I was just getting the ick. I was like, ew. For one, I did not like Pike. I didn't like Jordan as the main character either. It was a no for me personally, but again, if you like this book, I just didn't. But then I read Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. Yes, I had to close my eyes for dramatic effect, but this book was a 5 star for me. This is about Bree and Archer. Bree moves to this town in Maine. Is it in Maine? I don't know. It's like a secluded little small cute town, and she is just kind of meeting everybody, and everyone kind of talks about how weird Archer is after she meets him, but she's like really interested in him because she's a good person, you know, she's not mean and isn't just gonna write him off. Thus, the story ensues. This book, I feel like I liked it because it was more of like an emotional romance. Like Archer was just so innocent and sweet, like he knew nothing about anything in life, and Bree was just kind of trying to help him, and it was just so sweet. Like I just loved every moment of this book. There were so many things. You go watch my Reading Steph Wars 5-star video if you want to see like my live reactions. I did a reading vlog portion for this book, and it was just kind of funny, like just my whole entire reaction to this book, but I loved it. One of my faves. And then for that same video, I read The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, which also got 5 stars. Was my first Mariana Zapata book, and I loved it. First of all, it's about Aiden and Vanessa. Vanessa is Aiden's assistant because he plays in what is basically the NFL, and she's his assistant, and he's not like this like in your face rude. It's just that like he does not communicate or speak to anyone really. I mean, is it rude? Yeah, but he's not like, verbally being mean to her and dragging her down. But there are a few instances, whatever. You get the point. So she quits, he shows up, he's like, please work for me again. Thus, the story ensues. A lot of people don't like Aiden in this book. I personally love Aiden because I kind of relate to the whole, you don't speak your feelings, you kind of show feelings through actions. Like that's how I am with people in my life. I'm very, very uncomfortable with speaking my emotions. It's very hard for me to speak about anything, so I would rather do stuff that shows that I care about you. Like that's how I've always been. But he just doesn't speak his feelings. He doesn't speak very much. But still, it was so interesting, and it's weird because I was never bored. Like this book is like 600 something pages, and I was never bored, not once. I genuinely loved it. I thought everything that was happening was interesting. I was never skipping pages. But is Charlie... Okay, Charlie's just gonna sit on this chair. I just got this chair for my birthday. Charlie has been loving to just lounge around on it. So if you see someone moving in the back, it's Miss Queen Charlie right here. Say hi, everybody. I feel like she makes a cameo in every single video, but anyway, I don't know if it's because I just read a football romance or if I was just looking for kind of like a simple, easy book to read, but I picked up The Cheat Sheet. This is basically about Bree and Nathan. Bree's a ballerina. Nathan is also in the NFL. They are best friends. So this is a best friends to lovers book. They both have feelings for each other but don't tell each other. It's like one of those things. It's dual POV. In Bree's POV, it's almost painful sometimes because you're like, girl, open your eyes. And she's just like, we're just best friends. Like, he would never like me. And you're like, I can't tell you the amount of times I did one of these. Because Bree, even I could see the signs. Like, if I was in your body, I'd be like, are you feeling this? Because I know I am. Basically, Bree spills her guts to like a reporter one day and tells her drunkenly that she's like in love with him. And so his team is like, let's have you guys fake date. So it's also fake dating. This book got a 4-star for me. It was just easy, simple. Like I said, it was like a super short book. I'm pretty sure it's only like a little bit over 200 pages. No, it's like almost 300 pages, but still. It was just such a simple, easy, simple. Why did I just repeat that book to get through? It was super cheesy though. Like, if this was a pizza, the amount of cheesy grease that was going on in here would clog up all of my arteries, okay? And it did, of cuteness. I thought it was cute, okay? But if you don't like cheesiness, then you would not like that book. And then I read Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. I'm not going to go into this book really at all. I'm just going to tell you guys what it's about, but my thoughts, I have a whole entire reading vlog, it's spoiler free with a spoiler part in it. So if you haven't read this, you can still go watch it and hear my thoughts, but if you have, there's also a spoiler part where I talk about it. So this book is about Kenna. She served 5 years in prison. She gets out of prison and she wants to be part of her daughter's life, but the people in her daughter's life do not want her to be part of it, and she meets Ledger, who's kind of her ticket into her daughter's life. It's more of an emotional story, I would say, along the lines of All Your Perfects, and it ends with us. So if you liked those, or even if you didn't, give this book a chance because I love it. This was a 5-star for me, my favorite Colleen Hoover book. And then I read the first 3 books of the Addicted series. There's also a reading vlog of this up on my channel, but I am gonna say my thoughts because that is a spoiler reading vlog, so I will be talking about it a little bit. Basically, the Addicted series, there's Addicted and Calloway Sisters is a spinoff, but you read them intertwined. I'm sure you guys know this by now. Addicted to You, Ricochet, and Addicted for Now. All of the Addicted books follow Lily and Lo, but you do get like remnants of the other characters and hear about their relationships and stuff through these books. These first 2 books I didn't like as much. I honestly gave them both a 3.5 stars. This one got a 4 stars from me. I just felt like it was a lot of, I would call it world building, even though this isn't like a fantasy book, but I would call it world building just because I feel like you're getting a lot of background on the characters and what's going on in their lives. And then about halfway through Addicted for Now, I feel like we really get into the juicy drama. So hopefully from here on out, it's gonna get better for me. I did like it, but I didn't love it like everyone thought I was going to. So I was a little bit disappointed. Honestly, a lot of people said they didn't really like these 2 and that all of the other books they loved. So I still have high hopes. And then I read the Devil's Night series. I read the first book, Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. Honestly, I just wanted to read another book this month and I wanted a shorter read to get through. So I picked up this one because I've heard a lot of people talk about it and I was just like, cool, it was on Kindle Unlimited. That got a 2-star for me. I don't know if I like Penelope Douglas's writing. I don't know if I like her style of books, really any of her characters at all, because basically what Corrupt is about, I can't even really tell you because I don't know. Like, I do know what it's about. It's basically about our 2 main characters, a guy and a girl. I already forgot their names. It's basically like this girl has done something to this guy and his friends, so they want revenge. I'll just say it like that. I don't know. It's like a very weird setting too. Like, they're all basketball players, but it feels like they're a part of this cult. Like, it's genuinely I don't know. I think it's a little weird. I also just don't think I like her writing style. I like an emotionally deep romance, and that did not sell me on that in this book because all of a sudden this thing happens and then all of a sudden they care about each other. I don't know. That's just what I'm going to leave it at. It was a 2-star. But those are all of the books that I read this January. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up down below. If you guys like me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and the notification button so you be notified whenever I upload videos. Tell me what you guys read this month, if you have any opinions on these books, what books you're reading in February, what books you think I should read, etc., etc., okay? But yeah, that's it for today's video. Do not forget to go to bookofthemonth.com and use code BMIND to get your first book for $9.99. Thank you again, Book of the Month, for sponsoring this video. I love you guys so much. I appreciate all of you, and I will see you guys when I see you. Peace.